Yes, he's done well since he's come into the team, and the team has done well since he has come in. But he's done well himself as well, And I think again, he's a young lad, and I think physically he probably has all the attributes. He's quick and he's aggressive.
You can see why cross-channel clubs are interested in him.
Yes, of course, yeah. I think when you're looking nowadays in England, particularly central defenders, Kevin's only 19 and he's a big presence about him. As I said, he's quick, he's decent with the ball, and there's a few things that he needs to improve in his game, but that's not a problem. He has the basics, the raw materials, and I'm sure if he did go across the any of the English clubs, I'm sure he'd improve and he'd have the makings of a good player.
Considering everything that's gone on during the season, for want of a better word, all the BS off the field, to be in third place,
it's very good. I think no matter what, Rory, I think when you look to the start of the season, as I said at the start when I came down here, and again, you have people that live down here, people that have been former managers down here that have been saying that Cork should win the league at the start of the year. Now, I said it at the time. I think from where the club was coming from, 29 points, they finished behind Bows last year, 5th in the table. I felt if we could be up there and qualified for Europe through the league, it's an improvement on what you're looking to do. And I think when you look at the last time the club won the league, Pat Doolin had done tremendous work leading up to that, and it was inevitable that the club was going to win the league. He'd done all the training, all the work, all the planning, everything, and then they ended up winning the league that he wasn't there. Damien came in, and I think after that, then if you look at the league record, it went backwards. 3rd, 4th and 5th. So I think it tells you that the work has been done. Now I've tried to do a bit of work here since I've come in here with the rest of the staff, but it's all been spoken about, so I think it's been best left till the end of the season.
We saw Derry's troubles as well in the media this week. The league needs a radical overthink for next season, doesn't it?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm not even considering next season, Rory, to be honest with you, whether it's talking about the league. I think the league, I'm not sure what the best way or the best plan to take the league forward. I'm not sure if it's even there. Have people have the interest? I think people that always say, well, you look at the good pluses this year, Rovers, yeah, it's great, but everybody's always good and the club is going well. But the problem is when it's not going well, you look at the rest of the clubs. Derry now. Derry's really has only started in the last probably two months. Dundalk had a problem too. I'm not sure anybody else. Galway possibly, but we've had it probably longer than anybody. Basically, I'd say since maybe 6 to 8 months ago. So I couldn't. To be honest, I don't know what the future holds for the Aircom League. I just don't at this stage. And to be honest about it, I'm not even considering it at the minute. I'm just thinking about the 2 games, as I said a while ago. We're concentrating on when we had 5 games to go 5 weeks ago. I said this, and we had 4 games. I said it, and now we've 2 games. I think the main thing would be great for the players if they could qualify for Europe and stay where they are, because as you said, to be third is fantastic what's going on in the club, so as I said, maybe it's best left for another day.
You haven't even thought about your own future for next season?
No, not at the moment. No, I think I said this again, I've said this all along, I think when the season's over it's best left till then.
When the season's over, would you be unsurprised if several of the players left, considering all that's gone on?
To be honest Rory, I couldn't tell you what way the players are thinking even, and I think when the end of the season comes, I think you'll probably have a clearer picture from everybody, what lies ahead. Yeah. I couldn't speak for the players, but players are entitled to do what they like. If they want to leave, they can leave. If they don't, and most of them are under contract, or most of them are out of contract, should I say. There's about 7 or 8 that are under contract, so I think time will only tell in that question.
The crowd's been dwindling somewhat over the last, because of the apathy off the field and with the weather as well. If it stays like this tomorrow, you can't.
Yeah, well, I think it's probably more to do with the trouble of the club, I think, at the moment, Rory, and I think when people are going to the games, you can see it. There's no atmosphere. It's a negative atmosphere all the time. There's no support, and you can understand people are frustrated. But I said this, they'd be better off just supporting the team and giving it their all, because I said this also over the season. There's a great atmosphere in Turner's Cross when the buzz is there. But I think last week there was no crowd really, and there was no atmosphere. There was few people. There was no atmosphere. Everything is, as I said, there's all negative vibes around the club, and it affects everybody. There's no doubt about that. So I said this: if you want to be a successful club, there has to be a combination of everything. Yeah. Everything that includes supporters and everything, and I understand everybody's at the end of that tether. There's no doubt about it, But I think for the last home game, we could do with the support, and the team need it. And I think when you consider the game against Rovers on Tuesday, where there was 5,000, I think, and it was a great atmosphere. great game, not because we won, but I mean the atmosphere. Players always play, but as I said, you come out and there's nothing but negativity, you know. So as I said, you know, at this stage, I'm not going to be begging supporters, you know, because I think I've had a bit of a rough time myself through the season from them, you know. And it's like what I said, whether it was at the start of the season or halfway through the season, or as I said a couple of months ago, they need to come out and support the team and give it and help try and get the club into Europe that has some sort of maybe future going forward, that it's a plus for the club, you know.
Considering where the squad is now and where it was at the start of the season, are you happy with the way it's progressed, and are you happy with the way your stamp that you put on it? Or
well, I mean, you couldn't really say that, Rory, at this stage. I mean, we've lost players, and I mean, look at we're using amateur players, part-time players. The squad has gone backwards. I mean, you could understand if we kept the players we had and signed some, like you take Rovers. Rovers signed 6 players in the window. 6 or 7 players in the window, and that was on top of maybe 6 or 7 that they signed at the start of the season. You know, now you're talking about a stamp. How could you put a stamp on a team that has 2 amateur players, 2 part-time players, or 3 part-time players in it? It's not what you're looking. It's not what I'm looking for. Anyway, and that's being honest. You know, I think at the start of the year we did a good thing, and we got. In fairness, the team was going well, but it's just disintegrated, and that's why it's marvellous to even consider that we're challenging for the UEFA Cup spot at this stage of the season, because you know everybody knows what's gone on. As I said, the best thing is probably less said until the end of the season, you know.